I've heard dozens of horror stories about dangers of dating online, whether that be looking for love or looking for something a little more casual, we'll say. I never cared much about the warnings, though. Since my identity is hidden behind this computer screen, I have no problem admitting that I've been an avid user of a certain dating app for a long time, and the app that I'm referring to is Tinder. I've used this app for years, meeting women and going on a ton of dates. I'm also upfront and honest with the women I match with on Tinder. I tell them what I'm looking for, and if they're looking for something more serious than me, no hard feelings, and we end our conversation. A couple of months back, I had my first real scare with the app. I got lazy and didn't care as much about being careful who I met. I matched with a beautiful girl named Teresa. She reached out to me before I could even message her. Right away, the conversation turned in the direction that, let's just say, I was looking for. Teresa didn't pull any punches. She was upfront and to the point, and I liked that about her. I eventually asked her if she wanted to come over and hang out, and that's when her tone finally changed. In so many words, she basically said that she didn't want to leave her house because her dog was sick, and she wanted to stay with her dog. Then she said that she was embarrassed to have me come over because she doesn't live in a great area. I assured her that I didn't care where she lived and that I didn't mind at all coming over to her place. She seemed flattered and agreed to have me come over. Then she dropped a new wrinkle into the operation, you see. She said that she lived with her aunt and that if I was going to come over, I needed to come over tonight when her aunt wasn't going to be home. I should have seen all these stipulations, but I didn't. I was just excited to hang out with her, and I agreed to come over that night and ask for the address. She told me that I had to wait an hour and then I could come. What was weird, but I didn't realize at the time, was that she didn't send me the address right away. After she said to come over in an hour, she never responded. I asked for the address twice and I never got a response. About an hour later, she finally responded with the address and told me to message her when I got there. She said something about the door being stupid or something and that it would just be easier for her to come outside and get me. I put the address into my phone and made the 20-minute drive to her house. She wasn't kidding about the area. It was a street of just old broken-down houses. Garbage was everywhere, and there was one street light that worked for the entire street. When I stopped the car on the road, I messaged her right away. And while I was waiting for a response, I noticed none of the houses had any lights whatsoever coming from them. Most of them were boarded up and seemed to look abandoned. And then it dawned on me. I didn't even see numbers on the houses. I had no clue which house belonged to Teresa. She messaged me back, "I see you," with a smiling face emoji. I scanned the area from inside my car and didn't see anybody, and I messaged back, "Can you come outside? I have no idea what house is yours." A moment later, I saw some figure come to the door of the house across the street. I couldn't see their face, but they were waving at me. I messaged her and said, "Is that you in the black sweatshirt?" I didn't see her message back to me, but I received a message back almost instantly that said, "Yeah, it's cold in here. Hopefully I'll be warmer soon." And she added a wink face emoji. I turned my car off and started to get out. I saw that she wasn't standing where she was just a moment ago, and I slowly started making my way across the street, and as I approached the front door, two guys emerged from the driveway. I instantly threw my hands up in self-defense, but it was no use. Before I could even react, one of the men was hitting me with a bat or something like that. The other guy was just kicking me while I was down. The person inside, who I thought was Teresa, then ran outside. And not only was it not Teresa, but it was a huge dude. He grabbed my wallet out of my pocket, and the three men ran down the road into the darkness. Thankfully, I left my phone in my locked car, and these guys didn't steal my keys for some reason. I was able to crawl to the car and dialed the authorities and told them what happened. Never in my life had I felt so disoriented. Eventually, the one officer basically said that he couldn't do anything. The profile on Tinder was already deleted, and since I didn't really get a good look at any of them, there was no way that I could identify them. And the only thing that sucked about losing my wallet was replacing my ID at that time. The joke was on them, though, since they pretty much robbed a broke man. I think I had $4 in cash in my wallet, and my debit card had virtually no money on it. And I canceled my card, and and went to the ER that night. Turns out, I had 2 broken ribs, and I think all things considered, I was lucky that's all I walked away with during this complete nightmare. I do think about that night all the time. I can't believe how stupid I was. I had tons of red flags in front of me, and I ignored all of them for some fake girl. It makes me angry that these monsters are still out there, probably tricking idiots like me into similar situations. I wish that I could say that I learned my lesson about Tinder and meeting people online, but I didn't. I'm still out there meeting new people. I'm just extra careful now and using my head more, since you can never be too careful when it comes to online dating. If you enjoyed this scary story, listen to thousands more, either over on the Let's Read YouTube channel or podcast.